Hey everyone, welcome to the Kids Inc. podcast. I am your host, Susan Yeager, and this is episode 9, part 2. I'm not going to lie, guys, this one makes me kind of sad because we are finishing up our conversation with Jerry Sharell. It was a fabulous conversation, and even after we kind of said goodbye and I thought I'd ask my last question, we kept going on some other topics, so I put everything I could on here. I wanted you guys to hear absolutely everything, every little detail Jerry could remember. So I'm going to quit talking and get back and let Jerry do some more talking. Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This is amazing. Like I hope I haven't sent you too far down memory lane, but like this is
I love
incredible.
and I love that you have it officially documented for my experience.
Yes.
And I don't think I left anything out. And if I did, well, I'll
Gosh.
write my own damn book,
Right. You write your book. But if you think of things that we didn't talk about, jot down a little note. So
I
when we talk
will.
again, you could be like,
I will.
I want to leave with what do you want to say to the fans? I mean, I've asked this question of everyone. Did you ever think 40 years later it would still matter to people? And what's your message to the fans?
No, what's interesting, I have friends that I have known since I was 20, 21. They're still my friends. And when I first met them, it wasn't brought up. I didn't talk about it. Years later, I would say, oh, I used to, I used to hang out and be friends with Alyssa Milano.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how? Oh, well, I was on this kid show. You probably don't remember it. And I explained to them, and maybe I'd show them a video and things like that. And these are people that I've now known, half my life. So now when I meet people, I'm like, oh, if you Google me and
yeah, it's all there.
Very sure it's incorporated. Some YouTube stuff will pop up, and you'll get to see my old self.
Yeah.
I never thought that the YouTube thing would happen and be something like this, to where it would be relived, rediscovered, or that so many people from back then would think about me or find me. I'm glad that they do. I keep my Instagram open, I keep my Twitter open. Some is full of Twitter's filled with a lot of politics, but also movies and songs I like. TV. And my Instagram is, there's a lot of Kids Inc. stuff there, or vacations and stuff. And I just keep it open just to hear from people. And I get a lot of DMs and messages from people who like it and watch it and remember me. And I love being a lot of people's first crush. That feels nice.
Yes.
I never thought it would continue to live on. I got very, probably just, frustrated and disheartened to learn years ago that it will never, ever be again, meaning that Kids Incorporated, the name or the show itself, from what I understand, can never come back in any iteration due to legalities.
Right.
And that our old shows will never be remastered or released again, because it would cost, I'm just going to say, billions.
Yes. For all those music rights. I mean,
we were singing Elton John, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Bruce Springsteen, Hall & Oates, Rick Springfield, all of which those artists wrote those songs that we were singing. So, Kenny Loggins, all those people, I don't know. And I saw Tommy say he doesn't know how the hell they got the rights then. I don't know.
I know.
I honestly
on that budget.
I do not know, unless someone was at these music publishers or at ASCAP or BMI, and they were just saying, well, they want to give us $500. Great, let's just do that, and just shoved it out the door. I don't, because it would cost millions. I would tell people right now, be excited when you hear an original Madonna recording on some show, because that means that she personally gave the rights, and that director wanted it, and that director paid a crap load of money for it.
Right.
So when you hear and see something like that, it happens. Realize how much money it costs Glee to be Glee. So I don't know how we did it. I just know that now it would be impossible, even if a Shout Factory or someone like those companies would come along. to try and find you this. You'd get a DVD of us doing the dialogue.
Right, exactly. Or
It wouldn't be
lip
what you
singing
want.
songs that don't match because they're
Right, right.
new songs.
It would be horrible. So,
Yeah.
you know, so I get excited when fans want it on DVD or want it remastered or something. I stop wishful thinking. I don't want to be a dream crusher. It's just, it's so tough. And I think if it were going to happen, it would happen. It would take a lot of money and a lot of work to get the clearances from all of these songwriters. Some of which have passed, who you'd have to deal with the estate of George Michael, or those Motown songs that we did, or the Beach Boys songs that we did. Like, come on, it's not. It's just, sadly, it's just not gonna happen.
Right.
And from what I understand, when I say an any iteration, you can't even have a reboot of something, I think, called Kids Incorporated, where there are kids playing at a soda shop, because of the past and current legalities of the MGM, Disney, KTEL, Hal Roach, Tommy Lynch, all of that.
Right.
Somehow, somewhere, someone won't ever let it happen again. Not Tommy. I think.
Right.
I think.
There were just so many hands that
I think it's
are in the pot.
I think something perhaps maybe at MGM happened like in perpetuity, where you just, and it's never going to happen again. Yeah. Because I've had the conversation. I had the conversation with Tommy years ago. I had it with him probably 15, 20 years ago to do something, and was told just like it's not.
Right.
And I think he would have done it by now.
Oh yeah.
And I would clearly be the owner of the palace.
Exactly.
The Riley. So.
Exactly. Especially since it's a historical landmark and can't be torn down.
I come back to own it after being a rock star. I come back to my hometown and I buy the place that started my music, and my son ends up starting a band there.
There you go. Teens Incorporated.
Yes, Teens Incorporated. Too bad it can't happen.
Yeah.
We'd have to be like singing, like maybe we're singing like in an auto shop. Like it would have to be completely different.
Yes, that would be a great dream.
I would love to see it, but I'm hoping, quite honestly, I'll put this word out there. Rasan and I are buddies, and I know that Renee and I could get together too. That if we can get Fergie and Martika together, just to have the five of us talk somewhere, someplace, in some entity, perhaps it's with Access with Mario or something. I'm hoping that will happen soon. I'd like for that to happen. I know that Rasan and I would want it to happen. So that would just be fun. So hopefully that can happen one day. And I just love hearing from the fans. I love finding new things. I love being able to search for things to find it, so that I don't have to take out the VCR to to the TV to watch an old VCR. So old VHS. And honestly, if I do have anything on VHS, I will one day get to them, probably within the next year or two, and transfer and put them up, because and I'll look at episodes that I know are not up, or moments that I know are not up, songs. I will do that eventually, but you should also know that I recorded the show from television.
Right. You didn't.
I was never given a video cassette of these shows.
Right.
So I have these recorded from local Los Angeles television. I would have to set the recorder because it would air when we had to go to church.
Wow.
So I didn't get to watch it. I would get home and be like, did my recorder work? Those are the video cassettes that I still have locked away.
That's amazing. Well, I can't thank you enough for talking. This has been unbelievable.
Thank you.
Like, I just want to go have a good post cry, because I've been looking forward to this so long.
Thank you. And thank you for making me cry when I think about old friends and old times, and just sort of just having fun. And I always say, when you ask about when people find out about it, or people find out I am who I am or something, I'm always just like, well, I don't ask you what you did when you were. This is what I did when I was 14.
Right.
You play on a baseball team?
Yeah.
This is what I did. You play on a basketball team? This is what I did. Did you do after school play? You were 14. This is what I did when I was a teenager.
Right.
And yes, I know it was a televised, it was a nationally televised TV show, but it was, to me, it was just part of my life. So to be able to talk about this and look at these pictures and think about the songs, think about the set and the people, it's just really great. Really enjoy it.
Well,
That
thank
was
you.
great teenage snapshot for me.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad you had that life.
And again, also along with, as I said with Shanice, just Rasan is one of the best vocalists on the planet. When you listen to his records and the stuff he's doing, stuff he's done and is doing, it's
Well, that's like I said, I was so, I think, blinded, like, because I was 13 or 14, and Ryan was just the end all be all. That was my crush. And I was so into that I completely missed Rasan during that time,
right.
Yeah. And even when I was there and the first time I met Ryan, Rasan came with them, and I was like, oh, that means Rasan is here, like.
Yeah.
But then later I would go back and watch a little older, and I was like, my God, that Rasan was like killing it,
And it's just insane vocals. Just open his mouth and just the different licks and the sounds that would come out. You'd be like, holy crap, this kid can really, really sing. And with Stacey, the same thing with belting, but also it is no surprise to me what she has done in her career, and most definitely with Black Eyed Peas, in sounding different on every song.
Yeah.
When I listen to like My Humps, I'm like, that's her voice.
Yeah.
Right. But yet I hear that it's her, and I could tell, I know how she does it. When they came in to sing on my demo, I was teaching them the part and everything. And she said, okay, what do you want us to sound like?
Wild Orchid?
I was like, she was like, do you want us to sound really R&B? Like we're like we could sound like we're like 9 women with just one take, really full gospel voice. Do you want us to be poppy and sound like Britney and light? Do you want us to sound, and I was like, I just want you to sound like you. I want you to belt and just sound like the quintessential Wild Orchid. So they did. And I always remember that moment because I was like, what does she mean? Like, what do you want us to sound like?
Yeah.
And then I haven't seen Marta in decades.
Yeah.
Haven't seen her. Rasan a few years ago. Renee, I would love to see. Renee's family and my family were also very, very close. Of course, the Moreros and my family were very close because we had the history before, but we became instantly close with Renee's family because her sister was a singer, her brother was a music producer, my dad still being in the music business at the time. Basically crazy Italian meals. They kind of lived near us, so we would go over their house and have family barbecues all the time. Bobby would, her brother, be in the studio recording. Renee and I would just go in and sing. Her sister is an amazing singer too. So our families were really close too. That's what was great about it. Like I remember all the parents, all the moms were my mom. Like, and you would get a scolding from any mom. There was never a, don't talk to my kid that way. It was so like,
what'd my kid do?
It was, please mind my kid, and if he or she are acting up, put them in line. Is okay for you. It was never, and it was never like, it was never rude or anything. It was never, it was just like, Jerry, you should make sure if you're going, it's only a 10-minute break, okay? Where if a mother saw, if my mother, you would think like if a mother says, don't talk to my kid that way. The moms were never like that. All the moms had each other's back because it's so insane. And they were like, if you see my kids acting up, if you need to remind my kid, if you think my kid's having too much soda, if you need to tell my kid to not have another candy bar, if you need to tell my kid that, if you need to tell Doreen that my kid needs 10 minutes and it's not time for a 10-minute, you do it. Like the mothers put the other mothers in charge to be like, we are the wall here. We are going to save our children.
I love that they took such good care of you, though.
It was great. All of them. It was a drive. You heard about Mario's drive. Even our drive was about an hour. I think Renee Sands was about an hour plus. Stacey and Marta were far.
Way out.
I think Rasan was staying nearby because he was placed here. And I remember his aunt would watch him, his aunt east. And I think the aunt either was able to come with him or the aunt lived here. I can't remember, but she was basically his guardian on the set during at least during my season. It's funny. And I look back on, I don't know, and then we'll hang up. I think about past guest stars that were on our season, and I know like it's funny because my husband's very Goonies. He loves Goonies. And
Yes.
that Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk
Mhm.
in Goonies, was on as the
Mhm.
Joker on our show. The guy who I'm battling with, who wants to buy my band or take over my band in the first episode, he's blonde, and I dance with him and Beat It when
Yeah.
it's on singing Beat It. And his name is Christian Hoff, and he won a Tony Award for the Jersey Boys.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I
Wow.
remember that. The girl that played the genie, Katie Barberi, when her and Renee switched spaces,
Yes.
or no, she played a princess. They switched places, and Katie was the princess, and she and I actually became very, very, very close best friends about a year after the show when I left the show. And
Wow.
she's like this really big, famous Latina novella star, working at
Wow.
on Miami and doing all these soaps, which works all the
Yeah.
time. I try to
That's
think of
amazing.
yeah, it's funny. It would be interesting to look back at all the guest stars and
Yeah.
kids.
One that reached out to me was the guy who played Kazmaier, the bully. Yeah. Yeah. And I said, hey, will you do an episode somewhere down the line? And he's like, yeah. He came back in the second season and
Oh,
tried to
he
sell
did.
Stacy cigarettes. Yeah.
Oh my God, how
Yeah.
funny. Yes, what was
Yeah.
Trevor, right?
Trevor, yes.
Yes.
Weaver? Yeah. Yeah.
Trevor Weaver, yeah.
And he reached out
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm going to get you on one day because I want to
That's
hear, like, it'll be interesting to have
we
a
were
guest perspective.
It's interesting. I'll tell you a guest perspective. I think we were pretty snotty kids to guests that came
No,
on.
you weren't.
I think we were.
Really?
I think we were. Yeah. Yeah. I can look back and I think that we were okay, but we were like kind of like,
Yeah.
who do you think you are? I mean, again, we're kids. This is
right,
would not
right.
be that way now. But I
Yeah.
think a little, perhaps maybe not fully warm. I'll tell you who was always Renee. I remember I can't remember which guest star I was, but now this is bringing up, this is total just like child's
Totally
play.
random.
This is child's play. I remember a guest star came on. I remember we weren't in love with this guest star. And again, it's just because we were kids and we were being snotty and being scared probably that perhaps this person sings better. Perhaps this person doesn't sing well enough. We were being horrible. Ego. And a little gossipy on the side here and there. And Renee would not have it. And she befriended this girl and she was so nice to her. They became besties. And I can't remember who it was. I'll think about it. But
yeah,
so that's how I remember just that little story, that little snippet shows you how Renee was super nice and everyone.
Yeah.
And two, that yes, we could probably be a little snotty, just some guest kids sometimes.
That's okay.
You'll ask Trevor.
Sure they'll have good stories.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Although just remember we were teens and preteens. Come on.
Yeah.
And grade school.
Again, I go back to having the nieces and nephews in the theater, like that age group, completely different.
And it all becomes a niche, all becomes different, sections of people who are this.
Yeah, and who you love this week, like the next production, your besties, and then you fight, and then your besties again, and then you like the same girl.
It was school, and it was, none of us were ever to the extreme of like a Mean Girls kind of situation, but there were times that Marta and I would fight. And you could almost like see it on camera. So you'll see sometimes if she's scowling at me or something like that, concert number. It could be because I set her off before we were taping or before that day, or she's mad that I missed a cue on a little thing that we were going to do, whether it's we were singing together, we're supposed to go like this and she does it and I don't or something. And I just move on and she'll be like, and again, we weren't dating when we did the TV series itself, but there was a history and there was a childhood 14-year-old flirting and we make out one day and then not the next day. And it's just teenage stuff that would go on. And was she heartbroken and mad at me because I was being a jerk?
Yeah.
Things like that. It was literally, it was school. It was school.
Yeah.
It was school. Definitely.
That's hilarious. That is so funny. Well, thank you for all this insight and the behind. This is amazing.
I'm overtalked.
I know, no, like I'm just, it was funny because I was telling some of my best friends are fans of the show, like people I met as pen pals and we've just stayed besties and, and I was so excited. I was like, man, he's he remembers things, like I would tell him I got an email and he's going to talk about this. And I said something and I was like, and I'll finish up Moosey's last part. And then I think it was Tatiana says, and you'll start on Jerry's 7. And I'm like, probably if he like,
It's so
but
funny.
I love it.
What's so funny is I sat down today and I was just like, Jerry, don't talk more than an hour. And I was an
No.
hour or 2+ almost.
It
2.5.
doesn't matter. Like I am so excited. And literally this was on my bucket list. I can't thank you enough. And
well, thank you for doing
Yes.
this. I definitely I'm listening to it. Like if I'm at the gym or if I'm like cleaning around the house, I'm like, I listened to Moosey's yesterday and just like, it's just
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to hear different people's stories. Like I said, like this is
Yeah.
how I remember it. I could be
Right.
wrong, but this is how and that's what kind of like what Moosey was doing too. Of course,
Yeah.
he was older. I mean, he was 20, I think, when he started, or 19.
And it's been a long time.
Been a long time.
I mean, it's, yeah, it doesn't seem like it sometimes, and others it seems like a lifetime ago, but but I'm happy you remembered so much.
Oh, good.
That's amazing.
Good.
But listen, I will keep. That's it, guys. Can you believe it? What a great conversation. Jerry, I can't thank you enough for being a guest, sharing all your fabulous memorabilia, pulling pictures out, pulling cassettes out. Everything you shared was just so incredible. And I can't thank you enough. And guys, I can't thank you enough for listening, for all of your encouraging comments. I am so enjoying this ride with you guys, and I hope it continues. You're going to stick around. Episode 10 is coming soon, and I can't wait to get your thoughts and feedback. But in the meantime, be good to others, be good to yourself, and may the joy, excitement, hope, and magic that was Kids Incorporated find a way into your life every day. See you next time. Hey guys, we would love for you to check us out on social media. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of. You can find us at facebook.com/Kids Inc. Podcast, twitter.com/Kids Inc. Podcast, and instagram.com/Kids Inc. Podcast. Hope to see you there.